Keep in mind, those your thoughts have effect on everything. It's just easily recorded in the crystallization of water.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a wonderful, wonderful concept. What you think counts.
Well, and so anybody who hasn't studied Dr. Emoto's work, I would encourage you to look that up, because what the experiments that he and many others have since done is to actually say words to water and then record the crystalline formation that would come, and it's riveting work. So Dr. Emoto, Emoto, I believe. Yep. And before we get to Deborah's comment there, yes, John. And then I really do have a question for the panel. I'm trying hard to get there.
Yeah, we would just stop.
John.
Well, I feel as though I need to kind of correct our panel here. There is nothing in the physical. There's nothing in water that's going to get you closer to God. I don't give a damn how many times you purify it, how many times you evaporize it and condense it. There is nothing in the physical that will get you closer to God. God,
we're not saying that. Yeah, we're not saying that, John. We're saying that water is one of the easiest things to experiment with, where you can see the effect of thought on physical reality. That's all we're saying. Water is an element. I understand that. You understand that. But
God centers everything. The undivided centers the divided, guys. Yes. Come on. God's got to be centering that water.
All right. So let's have a little panel throwdown, shall we? Let me go first. So
all right.
All right. So I've heard John say a million times that there's nothing you can do, ritual, product, modality, yada, all into that can get you to God. I totally get that. And yet we see humans. That's why I brought up the fact that what I saw was love. It wasn't about the water. It was about the expression of love. And their expression of love to express in that physicality of water. That's what I saw was the magic behind many of the people that I saw doing this work. So I get that. Mm-hmm. There is no other physical that can get us there. But I do believe that we are here to express love. Are we not, John?
Yes. And I get that part, right? They're lovingly trying to discover something and get closer to God. So if they want to purify water and it's a loving gesture on their part, great. But it ain't going to get them any closer to God, whether they purify the water or not. But the love principle is a given. That's a given.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to be sure that we're clear about that. So let me go back to a practical question before we go into Deborah's question here, because I do have an answer for Deborah. So as I'm listening to all of you talk about this divinity and this understanding, James on our panel on site, he says, I kind of like the energy of this segment. It's a little bit good to have some tension here among the panel. That is okay. It's all said in love. But as I was listening to you all say these very, very big words, I had a moment of reflection today when I was going back to a time where I was very lost in this reality. And I felt that old lost version of myself pop up for a moment where I certainly didn't feel like the divine. Yeah. I certainly didn't feel like the divine. I certainly didn't feel like this physical embodiment was of the divine. And I could feel myself going down. And this has been something that's been done to women, especially, is us hating and disliking the physical embodiment that we're in. And so I want to talk just for a moment, if you all could speak practically to someone who is listening to this saying, I don't feel like I'm that divinity inside. I hear what you're saying. I hear you telling me that I am that embodiment. What would you say to them to let go of that unworthiness track, the programming that we've had, so that we can hear in our hearts what's being said here tonight? Who wants to
do everything with love? Do everything with love as your motivator. Try and do everything you can lovingly. That doesn't mean you're going to love everything you do, but try and put love into everything you do, because that is the manifestation of divinity, of the undivided, is to act, think, and feel from love.